combat. Just the word alone carries weight, a visceral, primal edge that stirs images of conflict, armies clashing under a fiery sky, sweat dripping down a fighter's brow as they brace for another strike, or even the quiet intensity of minds battling in a strategic game. But what does combat truly mean? Beyond the swinging swords and the flying bullets, what's at its core? In its purest form, combat is a struggle. It's the meeting of opposites, the clash of forces with one aim: victory. Two wills at odds, each striving to outlast, outthink, outmaneuver the other. But combat isn't confined to the battlefield. Its definition reaches far into the very fabric of human experience. Think about it. Every time we face a challenge, every time we push against resistance, we engage in a form of combat. Perhaps it's the student locked in a nightly duel with their thoughts, trying to overcome self-doubt before a big exam. Historically, combat often meant war, a tragic and inevitable chapter of the human story. From the spears of ancient Rome to the drones of modern warfare, humanity has evolved its means of combat, but not necessarily outgrown its instinct for conflict. It often feels like a paradox, the technological brilliance required to create more effective combat tools versus the folly of their devastating deployment. What is it about humans that drives us to fight? Protection, power, survival, or something deeper buried in our DNA? But combat isn't always about destruction. In nature, combat evolves as necessity. Watch a predator stalking its prey. Every shadow, every sound becomes part of its strategy. Or observe a plant fighting to thrive in rocky soil, its roots pushing through harsh terrain. This kind of combat is elegant, even beautiful. A dance where survival hangs in the balance. Then there's the combat of ideals, where the battleground is the mind, and words become weapons. Philosophers, revolutionaries, and activists have waged wars of thought to defeat oppression and spark hope. These moments change the course of history because often the fiercest combat is simply the fight for a better tomorrow. These moments change the course of history because often the fiercest combat is simply the fight for a better tomorrow. Which leaves us with a question. Is combat always necessary? Does survival, ambition, creation, all of it require struggle? Or can we find paths where cooperation replaces conflict? Combat teaches us balance, yes, but it also teaches pain. Would humanity be what it is today without it? Or could we rise to something greater if we learn to lay our weapons down? In the end, combat is more than technique, timing, or brute strength. It's a reflection of who we are. How we fight, why we fight, and what we fight for reveals the essence of humanity. So as long as there are obstacles to overcome and dreams to pursue, combat, in one form or another, will remain part of the human story. What it means, however, that's a question only you can answer.